Hi everyone, I'm San, and you're listening to Huyen podcast. How do you become important in someone's heart? Have you ever thought about that question? Do you want to be important, to be cared for, loved, and to be someone's priority? Is there a way for us to become such a person? Well, today we'll talk about this. Today is a weekend in Manchester. The weather is absolutely beautiful and sunny. Although it's only 10 degrees Celsius, it's not too cold, you guys. It's exactly the kind of weather I've loved since I first set foot in Manchester. Luckily, there have been more sunny days than rainy ones. I wonder what winter will be like. I'll tell you later. Right now, next to me, I have a small plate of cantaloupe. It's a tiny plate, but it cost about 990,000 VND, you guys. Actually, I don't think it's too expensive. Anyway, I was really craving it, so I bought it at the supermarket yesterday, and now I'm eating it while I work. Yesterday, I also bought a very beautiful bouquet of tulips at the supermarket. They're yellow and reddish pink, right in front of me now, absolutely lovely. They're currently cute little buds, just about to bloom. I arrange flowers every week. I change to new flowers every week for a few pounds, but for me, it brings so much immeasurable joy. Flowers have slowly become an important part of my life. My laptop right in front of me, or this recording device, these are very important things in my life because they are my work. Thanks to these tools, I can create content, edit videos, and share them with you. I can't live without them. Why do inanimate objects become so important in our lives, but not a person? For you, right now, is there anyone so important that you can't imagine living without them? As I just said that, who is the first person that comes to your mind? And do you think you are an important person to someone else? Do you think you are truly a priority in someone's life? Can you influence the decisions in their life? Does anyone come to mind when I mention this? Recently, I was chatting with a friend of mine. We talked about many things in life. She said, "I feel like I'm not important to anyone, not even my family. My parents only focus on my younger sibling. As for me, they seem quite indifferent. I'm not an important person to my friends either. They don't often invite me out, and they don't ask me for life advice. They don't even remember my birthday. I feel very lost in this life when I'm not important to anyone." The answer to how to become an important person in someone's life, for me, doesn't have a precise answer. There's no formula whatsoever. Many people say that to become important to someone, you should love them, meet them every day to become an indispensable habit, care for them a lot so they feel that you can bring value to them. But in the end, there are still people who leave in sadness and pain. Because no matter how much you care, no matter how much you love, people still find others. And that's truly sad, isn't it? People say that if you love sincerely, you'll receive sincerity in return. So why do we end up feeling so lost? My friends say that I'm 28, but I look 24, yet the way I express myself is like an 8-year-old child. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. But anyway, my friends are very sweet. They buy me cakes to eat, cook delicious food for me, and we sit and talk, study together, which is a lot of fun. I'm always like a child when I'm around my friends, and I feel so comfortable being with them. Yet, there was a time when I wasn't so comfortable. I used to close myself off because I felt that starting any relationship was with me. I used to think that whoever I befriended or played with, I had to be important in their heart and vice versa. However, not everyone feels the same way. Maybe they just feel that playing with me is fun and comfortable, that today they can confide many things with me, and everything just stops there. Yet, back then, I only thought simply, if I prioritize you, you must prioritize me too. You can't make plans to hang out with me on Sunday and then go with someone else without any explanation. Then I'd be sad, disappointed, and I wouldn't hang out with them anymore. I wouldn't care about them anymore. I'd just cut them off completely. I didn't even want to be casual acquaintances because I wanted to be important in their hearts, and vice versa. So I cared for them a lot, gave them a lot of affection. I might drive dozens of kilometers to care for a sick friend. I did so many things for people, hoping that I would be reciprocated. I felt like, okay, I'll give everything, I'll pour all my affection into them, and they'll see it and they'll love me. They'll value me more than other friends, and they'll value me the way I value them. But later, I realized it was a trap. It was a sweet trap of my own making, and that was the trap of hope. Excessive expectation can lead to greater disappointment when you give too much and then yearn for it to be returned. When we are with someone we like, whether it's friendship or love, we want to become important in their heart. We want them to see us as their top priority, their highest priority. But then, I later realized that this is quite toxic. Our giving at that moment carries a slightly calculating nature. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that calculation. It's like an investment. When you invest in a relationship, you also want to receive something back, right? But it's not always worth investing or worth placing too much trust and hope. Instead of asking, how can I become important to someone? I think we should answer a bigger question. How can I be my own top priority? Or, how can I truly nurture, care for, and love myself to the point where I can give without needing to calculate or expect anything in return? We won't need to answer the question, what do I need to do to be valued by others or seen as a part of their life? We will simply nurture ourselves and become someone we feel proud of. We will treat others the way we want to be treated, but this does not come with the expectation that they must love or care for us. We often receive advice like, give and give more, but we will carry a lot of sorrow if we constantly give and then hope to receive. Life is a cycle, but it's not necessarily a simple back and forth between you and that one person. Sometimes, you give to one person and you receive from another. To truly give without expectation or hope requires a lot of life experience in relationships. If they take a week to reply to my message, I don't need to sit there counting the days and waiting for their message. I will focus on other more important things: work, other friends, family, dating, and many other things I need to do. Before, I spent a lot of time being sad because I wasn't important to someone. But now, I think I need to learn to reduce expectations and let things happen naturally. Now I'm learning to give without expecting anything, and I will become the most important person to myself. Because when we prioritize ourselves, whenever someone treats you poorly or indifferently, you will turn back to yourself instead of chasing after them, begging for their attention. I'm learning to return to myself to find a bit of balance. We are human, and sometimes we get emotional, and that's okay. I realize that not everyone values me the way I value them, and I think that trying to become important to someone else is unnecessary. Now, San believes that those who truly value my worth, who truly want to be my friend, will see me as an important person. They will respect me. I just need to be myself and care for them in the normal way I want to be cared for. It's that simple. And of course, I will continue to be this way. That means I will continue to live my life, care, and love in my own way. It's not because some people are indifferent that I will become indifferent to avoid being hurt. Because actually, my feeling now isn't exactly hurt. I just feel like, this relationship could have been asterisk deeper, it could have been closer, and that person could have become an even more important person in my life. However, they didn't choose that now. So I will let them go. I will let them leave the circle of very close intimacy. They will still be friends, but no longer in the circle that is truly important to my life. If you're still in a relationship where you always have to ask yourself, am I truly important to you? Then the answer is no, because if you were important, they would show you. I have some very close relationships that are very important to me, and I often check in. What are you doing, sis bro? Have you slept? How are you doing over there? Is it cold? I have such relationships, and I just keep nurturing them. It's okay if someone no longer sees me as important, if they no longer want to message me every day. Because my life will still focus on myself, and I will return to a state of balance, because I am the most important person in my own life, no one else. Everyone I love is also a very important part, but they cannot compare to myself. I think everyone will be like this. Everyone will need to prioritize their own mind, body, and self first. And how sad it is when we constantly have to try to become important to someone. How sad it is when we simply wish they would reply to our messages, or wish they would respond, wish they would care more about us, take us out, invite us to eat, meet us, give us the love of a close friendship. How sad it is when we have to wish for such things from someone we cherish, isn't it? But no, let's turn back to ourselves. We don't need to try to become important to anyone. You will always be your parents' daughter or son. You will always have people who love you around you. And if there's no one, you still have yourself here. Don't chase after anyone. Don't beg for their love or beg to be in some important position in their life. You should be the most important relationship to yourself. Relationships are actually that complicated, you guys. They are complicated because sometimes both sides don't have a balanced and appropriate emotional investment. One gives a lot, but the other doesn't bother to take. One gives little and the other craves more. Overall, it's complicated. In the end, balance is still needed. We don't need to hate others when they don't prioritize us or see us as important in their lives. We simply focus on other more important things, that's all. They might still be around. One day, they might come back to you and say they need you, but you've already moved on with other necessary interests in your life. I had a few relationships that started quickly, and I thought they were very important to me, but now I see that it's not quite like that. They said they would be by my side when I was in trouble, that I should just tell them anything, and they would be there for me. But if they don't even reply to messages, how can they know what my daily life is like, right? Only when they have a problem do they start coming to me out of habit. And I'm just sitting there, confused, watching this earth spin and seeing how people live, often not in line with my own way of living. Gradually, I no longer prioritize them. I prioritize other things. Why should I prioritize someone who doesn't even prioritize me a little bit, right? But I don't hate them. I just have many other things to care about. I value my life enough not to have to try to be important to anyone anymore. Every day at 11 p.m. my time, my mom still calls or messages just to ask if little X has slept, if my darling has slept, if mom's little one has slept. Because she knows it's 11 p.m. here, and in Vietnam it would be around 5 a.m. when she's already up for her walk. She never says, "Oh, my daughter is the most important person in my life." Or, "Whenever you're in trouble, just message me. Mom is always here for you." She never says such words, but she always does it. She always makes me feel secure. She always cares for me, asks about me, loves me, and checks if I'm okay every day. Don't try to become an important person to anyone. The question of this podcast episode is one we don't need to ask. And if I had one piece of advice, San thinks it would be, keep nurturing yourself and keep living authentically. Even if many people make us feel disadvantaged, or some people hurt us, it's okay. Just keep living that way. Just reserve that special care for those who truly value what you offer and value your presence. And you will meet such people. Even if you are very lonely and alone right now, you will definitely meet such people in life. Don't worry. Thank you for listening to San Huyen Podcast today. And to you, those who are listening to this podcast episode, even though we haven't met in real life, this connection is real. What I'm sharing with you here is real. I might be someone whose podcast you listen to daily, never missing an episode. So that's also a form of importance, and I'm very grateful to you for that. And one day, perhaps we will meet. Thank you very much once again, and good night.